So a couple months ago, Bot Grinder came up to me and asked if I'd be interested in designing a frame for him. To which I said, "Yeah, man, I am so down." And I'm so down because of a couple of reasons. First and foremost, it's just I find it really fun to solve and design for what other people would like in their ideal FPV frame. And B, it's kind of like a sneak peek into that person's flying style, right? When a person shares with you what's important in their frame, it's usually a reflection of their flying style. And in this case, Bot Grinder asked for durability above all else. In fact, he told me, "I don't even care what this weighs. I just want this to be super durable and relatively simple." And that was something that we have never really done here at the DemiBot company. I mean, we built durable frames, but it was always built to like my durability standards, which basically means I want it to be durable, but I also a little bit of a weight weenie, so I didn't want it to weigh a whole lot. And if you've ever designed a frame before, you'll know that weight and durability are kind of the two opposite ends of the spectrum that kind of pull and push on each other, and you kind of have to find something either on one end or somewhere in the middle. So, that said, we came with this. It's called the DemiBot, and it's got a couple of cool little tricks up its sleeve. It's got Bot Grinder written all over it, and it is 100% designed with that oh my god DNA. Now, to talk about the high-level main features of the frame, I'm going to bring in Jaden.
I'm Jaden. I was the lead designer on this frame, and there's quite a few design decisions that we had to go through with Bot until we got to this final iteration. Now it's my job as a designer slash engineer to take all the ambiguous words that a client gives us, in this case Bot.
Bro, I need this thing to have 6mm arms, the end of which look like a demon skull. I need it to be able to fit any ESC flight controller combo ever to have existed in FPV. I need the rear VTX spot to be future-proof, so it needs to fit any VTX that was made up into the 40s and any VTX that'll be made in the next 100 years. It needs to not break at all when I crash it. I need to be able to fail-safe from 4,000 feet in the air, hit some concrete, and still have it fly up a way back to me. I need to fly incredibly smooth on default PIDs, and I think it should have kind of an evil name.
And turn that into something tangible, something that you can fly, something that flies well, and of course something that looks sick. So going along the industrial design language, we got the hard angles, we got some cool ridges that I took inspiration from Grenade, as you guys know, got some ridges in the side. We kept that consistent throughout the frame, and don't get me started on these arm ends. Oh yeah. With the removal of just one bolt right there, there goes the arm. Now you may be wondering, how is one bolt enough to hold on an arm when you're crashing, when you're flying, doing tricks and all that? Well, let me show you that as well. We have a center block right in the center between all four arms. And the reason why that block is important is we're able to make all four arms interface with each other, which helps with rigidity, helps with the general stability of the frame, and most importantly, it cuts down on the resonant frequencies, which really mess with your flight performance. Another benefit of the center block is that we were able to isolate the hardware used for the flight controller and the hardware used to mount the arms. And that also cuts down on the frequencies felt by the gyro, which really makes this frame fly well. And those were some of the solutions that we came up with in order to meet all the requirements that Bot wanted while putting our own oh my god spin on it to make sure this looks sick, flies well, and is just an overall strong frame.
So once the design is complete, we usually print them out, 3D print it, mock it up, put some parts in it, make sure things actually go together the way that we want to. And when it passed that test, the next thing to do is to test it.
I'm Bot Grinder. Before I felt comfortable releasing this frame, I knew I needed to give it the thrash test from hell. Luckily, I live in Philadelphia, so I have plenty of options. Me and my two testers have been bando bashing, office park crashing, and generally thrashing this frame without remorse for the past 3 months, and none of us have broken an arm or any of the main plates. So I'm extremely confident in the DemiBot's ability to hold up to abuse. I think some of my favorite things about the frame, besides just how well it flies, is the ability to fit any VTX and stack in it. This frame is made for you to build the drone you want to build, be it digital, analog, 20 by 20, 30 by 30, or anything in between. It's super easy to put together, super easy to work on in the field. It's thick stock, and it just feels solid. I'm stoked for all of you to get your hands on this beast of a freestyle frame. And a huge shout out to Tommy and the Umagod team. Y'all did an amazing job on this. Thank you. Jaden, thank you for letting me text you at 1 a.m. I appreciate it, bud.
Alright, let's mention a couple of things that have not been mentioned yet. First, let's talk about these standoffs. To the untrained eye, this might look like your normal, typical standoff. Oh, but it is not. See, during bots testing, things weren't breaking, but instead things were bending, and they were bending at the standoff. And we were originally using those dog bone style standoffs that kind of are fat at the end and they kind of get skinnier in the middle. And we really, at the end of the day, couldn't find something, at least off the shelf, that was holding up to Bot Grinder's abuse. So we had these custom knurled 6mm outer diameter size standoffs, and at 6mm the whole way down, and that in conjunction with these steel screws, we haven't been able to bend one yet to date. The other thing that we did, and this is actually new, we've been running these for a while, but obviously we're going to use what we have learned in building FPV frames and pass it on to this one, and that is these custom press nuts. Now if you take a close look at them, these are not something you can buy off the shelf. We actually had these custom spec'd. What you'll notice are two things. A, it's low profile, which that helps with just a little bit of weight savings because we don't need the big old bulky ones that you would normally find otherwise. And then the other thing that you'll notice is that they are in a hex shape. In the event that you, for whatever reason, strip this, you can still get at it because it is a hex shape. It's actually a 5.5mm driver, and then you can work with that. The last thing is that it's a fully symmetrical frame. That means the distance between left and right and front to rear are the same, which should make tuning a little bit easier. And speaking of tuning, because of how solid this main block is, 6mm arms meeting up in the middle, and then using 3mm plates to really sandwich the two, it really makes for some really clean black boxes. So if you've got some really clean motors and some good props, you'll be happy to know that this is actually probably one of the cleanest frames in terms of frame resonance and noise that we have designed to date. So if you are a Bando basher, maybe you like to fly over at Concrete Explosion, maybe you're a new guy and crashing is just still part of your daily regimen. I know it's part of mine, especially when I'm trying to push it. Consider picking up one of these frames. It's really simple to build. It's obviously very durable. It tunes very well. And on behalf of the Omega team, Bot Grinder, thank you so much for letting us design this frame for somebody as legendary as yourself. Check it out. Also, I forgot, go head over to Bot Grinder's channel. He's got a build video on how to put this thing together. I think he does it in like 8 minutes or something crazy like that. Either way, it's just a testament to show you how fast and simple this frame is. Alright, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.